I need to, let me see.
We live now.
Hello, everyone. Hello, thank you for attending the Demystifying Government Contracting. We're going to wait for more people to come on, but would like to thank you for attending. This platform is for us to discuss and share with you how the new executive order creates equity in government contracting. We're thrilled to have you to join us. We focus on equity in government contracting, and this month we're focusing on financial literacy. So we have expert panelists, and they're going to share their insights, including myself, around financial literacy and financial management of government contracts. We also are here to answer any questions that you have. So before we dive in, we would like to give a warm welcome to everyone who's attending. We appreciate your presence and thank you for engaging with us and coming back. And then for those who are new, thank you for attending. We would like for you to feel a part of the conversation. So please feel free at the designated time, to ask questions of the panelists because your input is valued and appreciated. So make sure you invite your friends, other vendors, the community, industry, government decision makers that you interact with, and influencers. We like for them to listen in and share their experiences and share their businesses. We'd like for you to share this event on your social media networks or within your other networks. Share it on your profile if you can. That's all that we ask. The information is free. And again, we're happy to share this information with you. So we're going to get started. First, we're going to have the panelists to introduce themselves with a short intro. We thank the panelists that come back every week and they share this information with you. We're all happy to do it. So we'd like to start with Lori. We're going to have each panelist to give a short intro. Is Lori? If not, Coach.
Hey guys, Coach Austin here. How are you doing? I'm CEO and founder of the Bank Ready brand, and as you know, we are a bank ready business accelerator. So I'm really interested. As you can see, I'm mobile, headed from one office to another. I really want to hear this conversation tonight and pour in as much as possible.
Okay, and Miss Linda, are you present? Do we have Lisa Anderson, our CPA guest panelist? So I think some of our panelists may be still logging in. We have Coach. He's the financial business advisor, Coach Sean Austin. And then we have Dr. Travis Davis. He's an 8A business owner, also advisor. Miss Linda is our nonprofit advisor, also Small Business Development Center mentor. And then we have Lori Smith. Lori is a former CEO and she's our former contracting officer. She's our advisor in contracts. And then we have Miss Stephanie Johnson. She's a 8A big business owner and also CPA. Lisa Anderson is another CPA, and they're all here with us, other panelists, and we're here to give you best practices and things that we've learned along our GovCon journeys, either internally or externally to the process. Also, we have a special guest panelist today, and it's Iman Cotton from CDC Small Business Finance. Iman, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm hoping you can hear me. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Perfect. I'm Iman Cotton with CDC Small Business Finance. I'm a loan officer with CDC. I come from being a branch manager, a small business banker, a credit manager, a vice president relationship manager. So I have a tons of traditional banking background. and non-traditional as well. So I'm just elated to share any pointers and tips that I can add value to everybody's businesses.
Thank you, Iman. So now we're going to get into the conversation. Today, Iman is here to share with us some of the products that CDC Small Business Finance offers, and some of them are specifically for underserved and underrepresented business owners, which include many of the panelists and also the audience members. So make sure you keep your questions, because we're going to ask questions later, and we would like for you to engage. So I'll stop periodically to see if anyone has questions. And I want to thank you, audience and panelists, for joining. And Iman, thank you for bringing the services that you're going to discuss, the new products, because we're excited about one of the products. It's specifically for the Black and Latino community. Iman, I guess we'll start with what do you do at CDC Small Business Finance? I know that you mentioned you're a loan officer, just so you know that the audience and attendees will have an idea of the role that you play at CDC.
Absolutely. So I help package the deals and pre-qualify them to pass on to what we call our relationship manager, who's actually the underwriter who issues the approval for SBA to actually fund the deal. So I help, and I truly, truly love what I do, because as a branch manager or a business banker in banking, customers or clients will walk into the financial center, and if they were a startup business, and they would come in, and shame on me, but knowledge is power, which is why we're doing this today, to spread the wealth of information. But typically when you walk into your traditional financial institution, the first thing they say is they can't assist you if you're a startup business, and you can't receive any lending, and which is the exact same thing I would say. So being with CDC, I've actually only been with CDC, this organization, since September of last year, but I absolutely love it. And it is, it came out today that we were like, two of our three organizations are like two of the top nonprofits to actually work for. And I can attest to that, because I am extremely fulfilled with being able to help our business clients and our underserved communities to access capital. So it's as a loan officer, I take you through the process of helping you get the documents that you need prepared and submitted. I help understand your business, your needs, help you get set up with someone that can put together your business plan or your financial projections. And I basically quarterback the actual situation to get you pre-qualified to go on to the approval and funded stage.
Thank you. If you had to if you had to give advice about 3 core documents and or processes that someone should have in place within their business to for them to be attractive to you, your organization, and for them to have a quicker approval, what would you recommend if you could choose 3 things, whether it's a process or document that they should have as a business owner?
Well, if you're a startup business, you definitely need to have a business plan. And we want 24 months, so 2 years of financial projections broken out monthly. So startup businesses, your business plan, your financial projections, and depending on if you're looking for a location and things of that nature, a letter of intent for the lease. But as far as the financial documents for you as an individual, your personal tax returns, just make sure that they're current and accurate. If you have outside income, that tremendously helps as a startup business or an existing business, which is kind of difficult. But as a startup business specifically, if you have outside income, that significantly helps. If not outside income, some type of cash reserves to show that you can make a pre-injection and a post-injection, meaning that with us, you have to basically invest, or we need to see that you can invest or you have invested 10% of your loan requested amount into your business thus far, or you have the ability to do so at funding. So just the capacity and the business plan and the financial projections, I would say, for a startup business. And for existing and acquisitions, to make sure that you have your interim statements or your financial statements up to date and accurate to the best of your ability, or if you're working with a CPA, just getting that checked in on regularly. So we look for a profit and loss statement and the balance sheet and the business tax returns, I would say, would be the most important thing for the existing business. And the biggest thing with either one is capacity. But for a startup business, it's important to have the business plan and the projections in place. And if you don't have a plan in place, it's no problem. You can reach out to me because, as I stated, I quarterback the situations and I can partner you with someone that can assist you with creating the plan and the projections for free.
Thank you. And then, because I also come from the loan officer background, and I know these are things that there are certain things that are pretty consistent, especially like with small businesses, emerging businesses, and I would say the underrepresented groups. What are some things that you see, and what are some best practices that you would give? I would say like one or two things that are consistently an issue in getting underrepresented and small businesses approved. What are like one or two things that you see consistently, and then what recommendations do you have for businesses to better prepare to not run into those issues when trying to get approved for a loan?
As far as existing or startup businesses for the underserved community, what I see most is that we don't have the proper financial documents in place. So for instance, we don't have business tax returns, or we might be behind on completing the business tax returns. We don't have the interim financial statements, the projections, the balance sheets. And to be quite honest, capacity, your ability to afford the loan, it's impacting all races and all people. The biggest thing with us is, like I stated, just being willing to kind of go through the process and understand the process and taking the feedback from the different professionals that you can to help guide you in the right direction. So it's a lack of having the financials. It's not the income or the revenues most times, it's the financials and having the records and things of that nature in place.
Thank you. Yes, it's pretty much consistent, like you said. It not only for small businesses or underrepresented groups, but it's always going to come to like, the documentation and making sure that you can validate the information when the bank is taking a risk, on making the loan. But I just wanted to have everyone hear from you things that you see and ways that they can improve their chances of and the likelihood of being approved.
For sure.
Okay, and then I know that CDC, you all are trailing in some of the categories as far as the dollar value of loans and the types of loans you're making. Could you just highlight, for example, I think, what is it, under 5K, your reputation for those loans, and then also the SBA products that you're trailing in as far as like the volume of loans you're making?
You're going in and out, but I think CDC and the programs, correct?
Yeah, I was saying, if you could highlight some of the accomplishments CDC has regarding the small, I know like the smaller value loans and the types of loans. I think Community Advantage you all are trailing as far as being able to make getting more businesses, especially the
Absolutely.
underrepresented groups, access?
Absolutely. So CDC Small Business Finance, we have a few different products. We offer, and is my screen actually sharing?
Yes,
Or
yes. Is it
okay.
on the slide with SBA microloans?
Gotcha. So CDC, we actually offer we offer several different type of loan products. We offer the SBA microloans. That loan ranges from 10 to 50,000. The rate is actually now 8.75 because prime just increased to 8%. But nevertheless, we offer microloans to all customers. The microloan only goes from 10 to 50,000. It can be 3 to 6 year term and at 8.75%. We also are the #1 SBA lender in the nation for the Community Advantage loan. With the Community Advantage loan, because of we are now Momentous Capital, and that's CDC Small Business Finance, Capital Impact Partners, and Ventures Technology. So because of our other two partners, Capital Impact and Ventures now, CDC, I can lend in all states besides North Dakota, South Dakota, Alaska, Tennessee, Vermont, and Utah. So this loan is for, and Chanel, you can speak to this passionately, I'm sure of it, but this loan is offered for startups, existing business expansions, business acquisitions, for debt refinance, and for CRE opportunities. Again, CDC, we're the #1 lender in the nation for this specific product. The loan range, again, 10,000 to 350. The rate ranges anywhere from prime, which is 8%, plus 4.5% to 5%. And the 4.5%, 4.75 or 5% is based on the volume, the amount of money that you actually borrow. So 50,000 or less, it's prime plus 5%. 50,000 to 250, it's prime plus 4.75. And 50,000, and 250,000 up, it's prime plus 4.5%. There's no prepayment penalty for any of my loans, and the term can be 5 to 10 years. So if there's no prepayment penalty, I always say take the maximum term, because you can pay it off in 3 years if you want to. But on paper, at least you're not required to have to pay it off in 3 years versus 10. In the event that CDC, one of the special things about us is we have no minimum credit score requirement. Again, I say we have no minimum credit score requirement. So with reasonable explanations. So the benefit of working with a CDC or CDFI is everyone sets their own lending criteria based on their appetite. They make more or less stringent requirements. So we have no minimum credit score with reasonable explanation. That means if you have a collection item, then if it's still an open collection item, we just need you to have a payment arrangement in place, whether that's $5, $10, just have a payment arrangement in place with the organization and show us the proof. Even if it's a judgment, an open judgment that hasn't been paid off, if you have an arrangement on it, we're good to proceed. So with resolution. Now, we don't have a minimum credit score, but we do have a minimum SBSS score, which is a combination of like a business and a credit score. This score, we need a minimum of, let's just say 140. If you don't hit that minimum score we need, if you're not African American, Latino, or if your business is not located in a low and moderate income area, then I can't continue. But if your score is less than the 140 and you are African American, Latino, if your business is in an LMI area, I can continue with what we created, and it's called the impact loan. The impact loan range goes from 10 to 350,000 also. It's for all type of businesses. The rate is actually, prime plus 4.75. It's a 10-year amortization, but due in 5 years. So those were the 3 specific products that we have currently. I'm super, super, super excited that we also have a product that's currently only in Detroit. called Activate Detroit. This is a blind credit score program for African Americans only.
Hold on. Iman. I wanted to let the audience know this is one to really listen for because it's unique and it caters to, um, you know, specifically communities that are. I just was watching something that said the Federal Reserve put out a report that says our communities have like very low approval rates, especially right now. So this loan option is very important at this time because it opens and it gives access to capital for communities and groups that are traditionally not given the same opportunities as others. So Iman, she's going to tell you about this opportunity, but I would strongly suggest that you look into it if you're qualified.
So starting the first week in June, I will be able to offer Activate LA, Activate Los Angeles, just like the Activate Detroit program. Again, this is a blind credit score program. We pull the SBSS score that I was speaking of earlier, and we pull the credit without the FICA score even being shown. So we don't even know the credit score. And again, with the impact loan, I stated that we help anybody with credit issues with reasonable explanation. But with Activate Los Angeles specifically, this is a blind credit program that's only offered to African Americans in Los Angeles. The loan amount will be up to $100,000. With all of our other loans, if you're a startup business or if it's an acquisition, you need a 10% injection. With Activate Los Angeles, there's no down payment cost associated with the overall loan, or there's no 10% injection requirement to actually get the loan. We make sure to set you up with the pre and post business counseling, and they help with like the projections. And after the loan is done, they make sure that you're sticking to your plan and that the payments are going okay and things of that nature. Also, there is no prepayment penalty with this one. And yeah, up to 100,000 blind credit score for African Americans who will be located in Los Angeles. And that program will roll out the first week in June. So I'm super, super excited. We'll have information to distribute to get the word out. And I just look forward to helping anybody I possibly can.
Yeah, I look forward to supporting this effort and getting you all connected with the small business community, especially those that I know are qualified or, will possibly be interested. Also, I have one question. When if the loan that's for the Los Angeles area, will it be for the city of Los Angeles or LA County?
They're still cleaning it up. Right now is supposedly just South Los Angeles.
Okay.
And the way we designate South versus North LA is north of the 10 or south of the 10. So we're still putting context to what that actually looks like. But I know for sure it will be South Los Angeles. And I don't know if anywhere else in addition to that.
Okay. So for anyone in the audience who has a business, your business has to be located, and that's something that we also should just make sure I want to mention this because it's happened with other applicants. Make sure your business is located in the location where you're applying when it's this type of loan, because you're going to be disqualified based on the locality of your business, not your home address. So if your business is registered to your home address, then you can use it. But if your business is located outside of this vicinity, then you may not qualify.
That is correct.
Okay.
And I'll get you clarification for your next call to, specifically say which area. If it's Los Angeles County, that would be awesome. But I think because it's for African Americans, it'd probably be South Los Angeles.
LA. Yeah. Because we have a larger population here. Okay. So that's understandable. Yeah. So I have one more question. I don't know if you can answer this, but Do you all plan to take the program in other cities? And if so, where, if you can share that? And then if people are interested in it and having a product like this, and like leaders that are on, or just anyone who is a part of the economic development within their their city or state, and they're interested in having a product like this within their for them to access, how would they go about reaching out to CDC? And is that even an option?
Absolutely. So I would be the partner, just like I partner with all the different financial institutions, different nonprofit organizations now, because at the end of the day, it's all about getting our business clients the capital that they need, regardless if it's coming from CDC, Iman, Bank of America, regardless of where it's coming from. We just want you guys to be able to access capital. I partner with the different nonprofits and traditional financial institutions, whereas as to where if they can't do a deal, they pass it on to me. If I can't do a deal, I pass it on. So the best way to get a hold of me is, please, by all means, automatically schedule a 15 or 30-minute appointment with me using the Calendly link that's there. You can text me and I can text you back my calendar link, or feel free to shoot me an email. Most times I'm on Zooms, but you might be able to catch me just via phone call. But like I stated, if you text me or just automatically hop on my calendar or shoot me an email, those are the best ways to go. And the partnership, as I mentioned, you would just contact me, and I would love to, get the product information to you and the application processes.
Thank you. And also, if anyone is on that is located within South LA, especially if you're from a chamber or any technical assistance center, CDC, Small Business Finance, they're looking for partners to make sure that we get everyone that is qualified access to this loan, or at least let them know that this is an option. So I would strongly encourage you to reach out, to talk with them, and then share this with your networks as well, just so that even if people don't want to qualify, everyone knows. We would like to just make sure that everyone knows that there are other options besides the traditional bank route. Iman, is there anything else that you would like to share?
I think we covered I think we covered the biggest things, but what I will share is, as I mentioned, all races are not getting approved for lending right now. And if they do, it's because of capacity. I can say that from a nonprofit and CDC standpoint. Now, I used to work at a traditional financial institution that, depending on who you knew, you can get a loan approved, or a credit card, or a line of credit, or whatever it may be. But with CDC Small Business Finance, it's purely about us understanding your story, your business needs, your use of funds, and you having the actual capacity to handle your request. So the biggest thing is your capacity. Cash flow is king. I changed the 5 C's of credit to put the character one first, because with a startup, if you don't have 2 years of industry experience, we're not going to lend you anything. But after that, cash flow is king. So, and all we look for with CDC is a 1-to-1 debt service coverage ratio. So for every dollar in expenses, we just need you to have $1 worth of income. And that's kind of unheard of with me coming from traditional financial institutions, just to have a 1-to-1 debt coverage ratio. So capacity is the biggest thing, and your ability to be able to show you can repay or handle your personal expenses, if you're your personal and business expenses, to be able to, and the new loan amount to be able to afford everything. Now, I absolutely love working with startup businesses at CDC. When I say startup businesses, I mean 0 days in business startup businesses. As long as you can handle your personal expenses, meaning the debts, the minimum payments that's reporting on your credit report, and your personal living expenses. As long as you can afford those on paper, we will give you up to $350,000 simply based on your business projections. I absolutely love startups. And CDC does also 50% of our loans that we do, and not intentionally, but just 50% of the loans we funded, they've been a startup businesses projection based. So that's the biggest thing. Capacity and cash flow is king. I would love the opportunity to work with all the different organizations and to talk to any of the business clients that have any type of question. I don't care if you're ready to apply today or if you need 2 years from now. Please, please, please contact me and just let me be a resource if nothing else. So yeah, please, everybody contact me and let's connect.
Thank you so much for coming and sharing this. And I look forward to working with you in CDC and making sure that we get our communities and other underserved communities access to capital. If anyone would like to reach out, the Iman's contact information is listed, and then I'll also post it on my LinkedIn, and I'll make sure that I tag CDC in it. Also, I'd encourage you to go look at their website so that you can get a better understanding of the programs and the requirements. Also, I'm just looking at the questions.
You do not have to be in Los Angeles. I lend everywhere besides 6 states, which is North Dakota, South Dakota, Alaska, Tennessee, Vermont, and Utah. The special program that I offer, the Community Advantage Program, in all of those states. Now, the impact loan that was for the African Americans, Latinos, and the LMI areas, that's only for the state of California. And specifically, Activate Los Angeles will only be if your business is located in Los Angeles.
South Los Angeles.
All states besides 6.
Yes, and that loan for right now is targeting South Los Angeles. So we'll get clarification and we'll let you know once it, or if it does expand. But we strongly encourage all the businesses that are in South LA to at least entertain it, because you never know. I wouldn't disqualify myself as a business. Let CDC take a look at it and see what they can do because of all the special programs that they have. And then they're very lenient when it comes for just trying to help you with your journey.
Absolutely. And also, with the Activate Los Angeles that's coming, it only needs to be 51% or greater African American ownership. So it could be 2 partners or 4 partners, but the African American person needs to have 51% or greater in the business for now in South Los Angeles to qualify for Activate Los Angeles. And I will be the only loan officer at CDC offering Activate Los Angeles.
Okay, I didn't know that. That's good to know.
Yep.
Yes, so I'll make sure, like I already told you all, I'll support you in the efforts any way I can. If anyone has questions, just a little background on why Iman and we're connected. I actually used to work for the SBA. I worked on microloan, and Community Advantage was started within our office in 2012. I don't know when it actually went into fully implemented, but it was a brainchild from the SBA, the Office of Capital Access. So I'm happy to see, the impact that these loans are making, because people, that are very passionate about the small business community work very hard on making sure that you all had access to these products. And then now we have CDFIs, banks that are making sure that the money hits the communities and is getting to the right people. So people in government are working, people in the banking industry, especially CDFIs, because they cater, their job is to cater to, and they work with the agency to cater to the small business community in certain communities and build these products so that you can have access to capital. So I would strongly encourage you to take advantage of it so that the agency can be, I would say when you take advantage of the programs, then it just helps to the government to justify why they have the funding for the programs and create more.
For sure. And like you stated, please take a look at our website because Capital Impact Partners, they do more so of the investment into the communities or the large investments in doing a city, a row of buildings and things of that nature. So they do larger economic development than CDC. We only work on like the five. We're the number one SBA lender in the nation for the 504 and the Community Advantage program. But Capital Impact Partners, they work on our larger economic development investments and partnerships.
Thank you so much.
You're
So
welcome.
we hope you can stay to answer
I
questions.
am.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, Michelle, do you see questions on LinkedIn? I'm not on LinkedIn. Do we have any questions there? Anyone asking questions on LinkedIn, and I'm looking through the comments to see if I see any here. Please, if you have any questions regarding the CDC offerings, feel free to ask. We have our panelists here, our expert panelists, and she's happy to answer your questions now if you have any.
Miss Linda, we do offer lending in Texas. Yes, ma'am. And then Coach, you said it sounds like they need bank ready.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That's the biggest thing in partnering with me because I get you guys bankable and lendable. So, if you're a startup, after you're 2 years in business, then you can go back to your bank already having business credit established. So I help get you bankable. And that's the biggest thing when you go with me being a branch manager and things of that nature. And I'll let Coach expand. But that's the biggest thing with working with a CDC or a CDFI, that we help get you guys be able to go get a better rate from the actual bank.
Yes. And then, thank you for sharing. And then also, besides CDFIs providing this service, the SBA has Community Navigator and other programs where they offer technical assistance free. Like I said, the CDFIs, some other credit unions, and then Community Navigator. These programs are free, and they are to help you to gain access to capital. So again, there's Community Navigator. You can go and you should be able to locate the hub near you. They also help with financial management, business planning, procurement advisory, and also they partner with CDFIs and banks. And they're a part of their purpose is for your business to be resilient and to get access to capital and opportunities. Again, you can go to SBA Community Navigator Locator, but then you also can work with CDFIs such as CDC Small Business Finance, and they can assist you in that as well.
And although I'm located in Los Angeles, I lend to all the states that we're located in. So I'm your contact person. For any and every state, I can take care of you and would love to.
Thank you so much. So let's see, we'll give it a few more minutes just to see if anyone else has a question. And then Coach, did you want to chime in? I seen.
Yeah, so Ms. Cotton, thank you so much. I was over here cutting flips, just listening to your presentation. I've been, in the promotion of CDC, CDFIs for some time now. My Bank Ready Accelerator program does just what you speak about, getting businesses bankable, mainly building for capacity. There's a lot of the market research that they don't have. And that capacity build, I'm so glad you mentioned that over and over and really honed on that. We focus heavily on that. So when they're graduating out of our business accelerator program, we have an AI model that builds out their projections, cash burn ratios, effective tax rates, all those things. So I'm so glad you're here, and especially with these new programs. So anything that I can do to assist, I will. We'll definitely need to speak offline because I have a handful of clients who have the capacity, have the projections, have the business plan models built out already, and I love to kind of package that and start sending those your way. So I
Let's
would
do it,
definitely
Coach,
speak with you. Yeah, let's
for
let's
sure.
let's definitely do it. Yes, ma'am.
And then the
So
great thing about Texas is she's actually on maternity leave. We have boots on the ground in Texas. Nina, she's our loan officer in Texas. She's on maternity leave right now, but I think that would be a great introduction, face-to-face introduction for you, depending on where you're at.
I'm in Houston. I'm in Houston.
She is also, so that's perfect. I believe she's in Houston also, so that would be perfect. But I'll definitely do that introduction when she comes back. And please share with me your calendar link or get on mine.
I will. No, I'll be
Yeah,
getting those because we have clients all over the U.S. We're based in Houston, Texas, but we've got clients all over. There may be some even listening in now. So what you presented today is pivotal, paramount. Thank
that's
you for what you're
awesome.
doing. Yes,
Awesome.
yes, indeed. So I'll be on your calendar shortly.
That's awesome. Seriously, guys, I don't mean to sound too mushy, but I absolutely love working for CDC. I had extreme fulfillment working in the traditional financial institutions also because of the partnerships, the internal partners, the clients that just come in and will only wait and work with you. And I'm a defender of the underdog at all times. So I work hard for my clients, which is why my clients like to work with me. So me being able to work hard for my clients and kind of push and kind of, cause some friction if need be to get what needs to be done, it works with CDC and it works for my clients. So
You're the perfect
I,
kind of loan officer to work with. Oh yes, indeed. We're gonna do some good
exactly,
business together.
exactly, exactly.
Thank you. Thank you, Iman. We have one more. We have another question about someone would like to know, I think it's Aisha, would like to know, is there an application checklist so that someone will know the required documents before reaching out to you?
So there's actually a link that I can email to anyone. Like I said, you could text me or just get on my calendar link. It's a pre-screen kind of like application that will give you an entire checklist if you're an existing business or a startup or an acquisition. But it's pretty easy and simple, guys. If you're an existing business, it's 2 years of tax returns, your most recent personal tax return. I'm sorry, your 2 years of business tax returns, 1 year personal tax returns, interim financial statements, and then you'll fill out like our 4 application forms, like the personal financial statement, the business debt schedule, the CDC application, and maybe the personal expense form. So that's really it for an existing business. You already really have what you need probably besides the interim statements. Now for a startup business, it's no business tax returns, but we just want the business plan and the business projections in addition to the personal tax returns and proof of income. So the list is pretty easy and it's not something that, you would have to, and even if you haven't completed your 2022 tax returns yet, if you're an existing business, we just take a profit and loss statement from 2022 and an interim 2023. So call me regardless of what stage you're in and I can make sure to help you guys out.
Thank you. And then we have another question. Um, are the loans are these loan any of the loan products that you just mentioned, are they offered to nonprofits?
Unfortunately, no. We don't do any nonprofit lending. We only work with for-profits. I do know of one organization that lends to nonprofit organizations in California, though. And if you reach out to me, I can share with you their information also because I don't know it offhand.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, Michelle, there is a pre-screen checklist, but it's automated and it has to come from the bank. So anyone who's interested in being pre-screened, they need to reach out.
So I can send a link.
Yeah, so Iman can send you the link, and then you can get be pre-screened before you apply or before you move forward with the application.
And honestly, I'm sure it'll be fine. There's really no need for the pre-screen. We could just, if it's just for the documentation stuff, you guys just reach out to me and ask me what you need. I want to pre-screen people that's kind of like really kind of ready to apply.
Okay.
If it's just like some information that you need, let's just hop on the calendar and have a conversation. If you're filling out the pre-screen, it's because you're kind of really ready to apply and you're ready to submit some documents.
And then if you just want general information about it, again, that's why the SBA has these other free technical assistance programs where they can give you high level, and I say we because I also am an advisor for one of the programs, and that's Community Navigator. So any business that's in the state of California, you can reach out to me, and I can give you the link so that you can request access to the Resilient Small Business Program, which is funded by the SBA in part, and then also the Governor's Office of Small Business Advocacy. So if you're in the state of California and you need just like general information, procurement, financial management, anything for your business, and it's just the general information or best practices, you can reach out, and the state in collaboration with SBA has a program. But also if you're in any other state, you can just go to SBA's website, look under Community Navigator, and reach out to your nearest hub and ask them what center should you reach out to so that you can get services. Again, it's for underrepresented groups, underrepresented and underserved groups. So thank you, Iman. You can stay on if you like.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So thank you everyone for attending, and I hope you learned something, and I hope you are excited about the new loan options that we have. And I'm sure they're a part. Most of these things are also a part of the executive order to create equity, not only in contracting, but access to capital for small businesses, underrepresented and underserved markets. Thank you for sharing this with your network. We appreciate it if you would share this information. If you would tag us on your social media, especially LinkedIn, if you post something about what you learned today, any takeaways. We'd like to thank our special guests and also all the panelists. I see Ms. Linda, Lori, Ms. Lori Smith, Coach, and I think Dr. Travis is not here, but also if Stephanie Johnson and Lisa Anderson, if you're on, thank you all as well. We have panelists that come here every week and share this information with you. And then we are planning on bringing more special guests, but we definitely like to thank CDC Small Business Finance for coming to share the products with us, especially those that cater to some of the communities, businesses that are attending and that attend faithfully. If anyone has any questions, can you put them in the chat? Coach, are you on the LinkedIn?
I am not, but I can get there if you need me to.
Okay, yes, please.
Okay.
If anyone on LinkedIn has a question, because
okay.
for some reason I can't see the questions. Thank you so much. If you're interested in any other SBA products that were not mentioned, you can also go to sba.gov under loans. And then they have all the loan programs there and the requirements. And then they also have a link that you can locate a lender, or like, for example, a CDFI or a bank that has that loan option. And then they have like lots of literature about how to prepare, like just best practices, even government contracts and grants as well. That's sba.gov. Don Mitchell has a question. If we want to share with people who are ready to access and report. Don, can you please clarify which program you're speaking about when you're asking about access and reporting? If you could just elaborate a little more on which program you're specifically speaking about. I would like to answer your question. If anyone has questions, you can put them in the chat and we'll answer them. Someone has questions about SBA registration and SAM.gov. Yes, what is your question about SAM or the SBA registration? I don't see the LinkedIn user's name. I know that SBA and SAM have user guides out there, and they've been having sessions lately on how to use those things. And then they have on each website they should have a contact number, like a help desk to help you if you have questions about your account on either the registration or your SAM account. Oh, the resources, the links and resources to share. We'll post the resources under this event announcement for CDC, but also these same products are at sba.gov under loans. So if you go to sba.gov, you go under loans, it'll have all the different loan options, and then it'll also let you locate a lender near you, or you can reach out to CDC Small Business Finance. CDC is also listed in that same locator.
You'll just reach out to me directly.
Oh yes, yeah. And Iman, she's provided her information as well. Iman, can you see the chat? Can you put your information in there again? Someone just asked for it. Yes, so that's the your point of contact. You can reach out directly to the bank, or you can go and just, if you're just looking to review the information and see what's required, see what the programs are about, then you can just check out the SBA site. One thing, you also want to make sure you're looking at the for each loan what it can be used for, because each loan has like different allowances for the uses of the loan. So always make sure when you're working with your lender that you know what the loan should be used for, if it has any restrictions. All right. I don't see any more questions. So any Coach, do you have anything else for us? You want to chime in? Anything related to, I know you have your bank ready program. Would you like to speak about it, just to like help? I know that you help people prepare for this type of opportunity as far as applying for their loan to be positioned. I don't know. I think coaches, let me see. Coach may have already logged off. Okay, if anyone else have questions, please put them in the chat. And then Coach has a class coming up. You can follow, make sure you follow Coach. He's hosting a class, and it's specifically about the small business certification, including SAM. Okay, great. Thank you for coming back.
I had to hop off of one platform to another.
Oh no. I was asking Coach, would you like to share any of your best practices? I know that you offer this as a service of how people should best position for when they're going for financing and these lending options.
I mean, for me, best practices, I mean, it was mentioned earlier, and I'll definitely echo it for those here. Utilizing the paid for free 99, if you will, resources that the SBA score has, exhausting those resources, especially when it comes to the reaching capacity starts with market research. Reaching capacity starts with you understanding your industry, understanding your NAICS codes, I think one of the best things we can do is make sure you understand your NAICS code. Go to NAICS.com, click on that code, and start researching those top 10 revenue driving companies that are in that code. How they perform at a high level is how you can trace back their beginning story and see how they started and how they got to how they got to where they are, and that those can be a shining light of an example of how to perform in that industry and what industry standards look like. And now tell your story in your business plan in those questionnaires. Pull score, pull the SBA's free templates, start answering those questions. That brain dump and that deep dive that you do internally with your team, answering those questions is the story you tell to a CDC. Is what you tell to People Fund, Lift Fund to help them understand. Look, I need X amount of dollars, and here's how I plan on driving revenue with this business model, and you build into that. And then, of course, attending our class May 4th will help you understand what the certifications are, the power behind them, how we help you with SAM, because it can be pretty conducive. I mean, pretty cumbersome filling out those applications. Allow us to help you with that so you can focus on the one main thing is your company mission and vision. So that's what I would offer. Just start there and then build into it. And definitely come see us on May 4th, and we can help you get bank ready from that point on. I really appreciate you, Chanel, because this is special today. You did really good with this. So my hat tips off to you for sure for curating this and really bringing forth a really good presentation today. So thank you so much.
I'm happy to do this. I've been doing this for a long time. Like I said, I'm just elated to like see the community advantage, because I remember sitting in the office and we literally just sat in there with like pads, and people were thinking of ideas of how this could work and who it would impact most. And that was over 10 years ago. So just to see it thriving, I'm happy to do this every day. Thank you.
Seriously, Chanel, thank you for, connecting people and providing the resources and all the hard work that you've been doing, seriously, with everything. So
yeah,
you were truly appreciated because
it's my pleasure.
Yeah. I've been in LA 11 years, and I haven't met anyone that's a connector like you thus far. So thank you. Thank you all. And Michelle, also,
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, I'm happy to do this and to have connected with you and to help the CDFIs and the technical assistance centers. So if you're anywhere in the country and you're a CDFI, any type of technical assistance center, you can reach out. I connect people. That's what I do, and I'm happy to connect you or to help you pilot your programs to make sure that we get access specifically to the Black, Latino, small businesses, veterans, disabled communities that sometimes are underserved in this market. Iman, I do have one more question. Is it possible if you can share with us at least one success story of a business that's like startup phase, just to like give some encouragement?
I would love to. He hasn't gotten funding yet. Look, let me close this LinkedIn so I'm not distracted with me and this delay that's going on. He hasn't gotten funded yet, but he's about to. Just 2 days ago. So, and the way the CDC works, it's been crazy to go on this roller coaster and kind of just experience things. So Friday, we have one person that reviews every single deal to approve them before SBA funds them. If she has anything that's questionable, she sends it to her boss to review. So on Monday, I saw notes. I am working with someone who is doing a husband and wife. They only make a total of $60,000 apiece, total household income, and they wanted to do a Louisiana famous fried chicken franchise. So it's a startup business franchise. So on Monday, when I actually looked, I pre-qualified it, moved it on to the underwriter. The underwriter approved it, sent it to her for the funding commitment. She sent it to her boss to look at it because I guess she was on the fence about it. Her boss actually left notes that I read and said his decision is a decline based on the different reasons. The gentleman, he has, like I said, they have a total household income of $60,000. He's even being gifted $60,000 in funds for his post-funding. Remember, I stated you need post-funding liquidity. So he even is not borrowing. He's being gifted $60,000 from a family member to show that he can handle his personal expenditures after the loan is funded in the event something happens. So he's being gifted funds, and he applied for $350,000. My approver's manager declined the loan. She made the decision to approve the loan based on all the notes that had been written, all the emails going back and forth, and me getting an understanding, her seeing me getting an understanding of the business plan and why I think he's going to be successful. She actually approved the loan for a full $350,000, and I called the guy 2 days ago, and he screamed on the phone for like 45 seconds. I was so excited, I was screaming with him. But that's just so huge because they don't, and people always ask, hey, what's the minimum income or the minimum revenue that you need? And I'm like, there's no magic number. There's seriously no magic number. It's all about capacity. It's about your personal expenses, being able to cover your personal debts. That's it. That's all. And if you're an existing, the personal and the business, covering a global coverage, covering all the expenses. So that was a recent and a huge success story for me, to the point where I even called my mom, like, Mom, listen at this man yelling on the phone. And I was like, and I told him I just had to call my mom so she could hear me screaming. He says, Mom, you're on the phone. And started screaming more. So it's just so fulfilling. So those are the days, that I walk away like, I love what I do. This is why I'm doing it. And it's possible. Apply. Yeah. Let somebody tell you no, especially if they're not pulling credit up front. Try. And don't go quit your job and then decide to apply. Apply with me before you quit your job. Okay.
Yes. And then when one lender tells you no, also thank you for sharing that, because you don't know. Don't disqualify yourself. And that's absolutely grants, contracts, loans, any opportunity.
Everything.
Go through the process. Find out, maybe you can do it later, but don't disqualify yourself. Also, besides that, sometimes if you may just need to go to a different lender.
Absolutely.
Like I've seen and I've recommended people, especially during like the PPP phase, but also just in general, what one lender will not do, the other one may be willing to take the risk or give you that opportunity. So
like I meant, absolutely, appetite. It's all about the appetite.
Yes. So all of them have a different risk appetite, and one says no, you go to the next or ask them what can you do to like get that yes. Coach has a question. Yes, Coach.
I think y'all kind of covered it just now, but I was wanting you to amplify to the people that are out here, because hopefully this will be played again. But that business relationship manager, you mentioned that earlier. And with our clients, we try to almost treat it like a concierge, to where if we have Capital One's business relationship manager come talk to you, they deal with Lyft Fund, People Fund, other CDFI, CDCs, and they know who to bring you to.
Exactly.
You can almost like bring that home again, because some people feel, oh, if I get turned away, I'm too ashamed to ask for any other help. But if you try to actually go in with the relationship in mind first, to say, here's what my story is, this is what I'm doing, how can you help me? It may not be you, it can, but if it's not, you're open to sending them somewhere else, because you guys talk to each other a whole lot and y'all know each other, especially everyone in that metroplex. So if you can expound on that so people can understand, it's a tight web that you guys live in this banking world.
For sure. So as Coach Ann Chanel has been saying, each CDC or CDFI, we all set our own lending criteria. The SBA only funds the deal. So each lender, as we're talking about appetite, some may have a larger appetite than others. Some may be more creative, not illegally creative, but some may be more creative to paint your story in a better light than others. Some may be more willing to champion for you, things of that nature, which all matters at the end of the day. So each lender has their own lending criteria. And it's best to, with lender match and different things of that nature, to work with a lender that can meet you where you currently are. For instance, like I was saying earlier, we can't deny you, we can't refuse your application. So when you walk into that traditional financial institution and the banker is like, well, I do have a 4 goal minimum I got to hit this month. I know they're a startup. I can't really refuse them. I can kind of try to push them out of here without applying, but I can't really refuse them. They're going to take your application and you immediately decline. And then you come to me saying, I've been declined by everybody. And I ask, where have you been applying to? And then you say the bank. It's like, well, the bank can't help you. Some banks have a minimum of 6 months time in business. US Bank, I believe it is, but that's few and far in between. Most of them is 2 or 3 years. And then, like Coach was saying, make sure that the person that you're working with, is kind of like-minded or equally yoked and has like this, that gumption that you need them to.
I'll help you out.
Say it again.
I'll help you out.
Exactly.
Some lenders, because I can say this.
Go for it. Thank you.
So some lenders are more culturally aware. They're culturally sensitive and competent, and that's important because some lenders, they look at certain populations and then they have stereotypes and things about those populations. But I will say that CDFIs, their mission is to serve people who are traditionally, I would say, that a traditional bank may not give a loan to, but also that many of the CDFIs and community banks, they are more, I wouldn't say they are more culturally aware. They are more deliberate about making sure that they create their products and that they serve the target populations with cultural awareness, sensitivity, and competency, so they know the things that they need to do to make sure you're approved, and if you're not approved, to make sure you're bankable the next time you come, not just denying you and saying, okay, sorry, I can't help you. They actually have a mission where they would like to give you access to this capital. So that's the difference than a traditional bank. Their mission focused on this population, which is small businesses, underserved, and certain markets that are traditional lenders, they'll make a loan to you if they can, but they are not like on a take certain risks that the CDFIs will. And then also when you're working with people, some of it is just human intuition. If it feels like there's a disconnect, or you're just getting a no and you're getting vibes, if there are reasons why, just move on to the next lender. Like, someone's going to tell you yes eventually. If they have to decline you right away, they'll still work with you. The CDFIs will. They'll work with you to get you positioned. They'll tell you the things that you need to do. So also just make sure you're working with people who are passionate about what they're doing, and they'll help you become bankable even if you aren't now.
For sure.
Chad, in the comments, you have a question regarding Key Bank. It says you thought they were small business friendly. So an institution can be small business friendly, but if you're not, if you don't meet the criteria that they have for approving your loan, then they would have to deny the loan just based on, like, we've been mentioning, the risk appetite. So maybe that lender did not have the same appetite that another lender does. But I recommend you go to SBA's lender match, because you can go to another bank and you may, either that you'll be approved, you could be approved at the next bank, or they can tell you why, you were denied, and it can help you position for future lending. And also, if you like, Iman has the application where you can do the pre-assessment, the pre-checklist for lending. So I would strongly encourage you to reach out to just see, have a conversation with CDC Small Business Finance. I know I can personally say that I've heard success stories there, and if even if they aren't able to make the loan, then they'll give you advice about how you can better position. But lender match is another option for anyone. If you're looking for all the various CDFIs and lenders that work with the SBA. Anything else you have for him, Chad, Iman? He says he was turned down by KeyBank, and I was just trying to communicate that your organizations can be small business friendly. It doesn't mean that they can approve every loan.
Exactly what you just said. Just like all CDCs and CDFIs are different. And like I can, deny one loan and PCR might approve it, and it's only because of the risk appetite. Or it could be one thing, that the industry is not an essential industry at this time. So, my head of credit might want to pull back on dog groomers because it's kind of like, I don't think maybe she's not as passionate as another organization that has a dog lover. So each lender is just completely different, with the CDC and the CDFI, and the traditional financial institutions. And the community banks are usually more friendly than the major banks. And when I say a major bank, I mean like Citibank, Bank of America, Chase. When I say a community bank, I mean like KeyBank or something like that. And then even credit unions are also kind of community and lending friendlier than traditional banks. But now with rates increasing, with just the economy changing overall, you might see things tighten up a bit more. So it's just really about having the conversations with the different lenders to kind of pre-screen them, just like we pre-screen you. Hey, what's your lending requirements? Do you have a minimum monthly revenue that you're looking for, a minimum annual revenue that you need? Do you have to have, do you have to be in a certain industry? Like, is there a certain loan amount that I can only get? Things of that nature. It's like, give me the secret sauce to know how to apply. And it's unfortunate that you have to kind of go through all that, but you do, because it's, we're all different and our appetite is all different. And it's seriously just work about finding somebody that's that can meet you where you are at the time. And if they can't, then I always want to, again, going back to quarterback the situation. Just like Chanel explained, if you don't, if we can't approve you today, I could say, hey, if you have 3 consecutive months of strong revenues, then that third month, I'm sure we can get you pre-qualified and approved. So now 3 months from now, let me get Iman these financial statements as long as I'm showing growth or showing profitability, and we can continue. And if you miss the mark, it's just a phone call. It's just conversation. Like, we're doing this at CDC because we all love what we do and we want to help. So, we want to figure out ways to help you get approved. So again, Chad, it's more so just about please, please, please find a lender who can actually match to your actual needs, and can, match to your needs and what you actually want. And you have to be transparent also, with your finance, with your capacity, with the finances, the time of business, the industry experience, so we can also better direct you of where to go. Like I tell my clients, no, you divulge everything to me and I'll decide what we don't pass on to the next person. So just be transparent and just find somebody that you think will fight for you and has the lending criteria that you can meet their needs.
Thank you so much. That's great insight and advice. And also, we put the links to the resources, which is the SBA lender match, where you can go and find a lender, and then the also CDC loans website.
Mhm.
Their small CDC Small Business Finance website. So we have those links there for you to get access to the information, and then I would also just do research before you go to
Mhm.
make sure you have, besides what Iman's already told you about the different types of loan offerings and what the uses are for, so that when you go to the bank, you're asking for you're going informed yourself, and you're asking for the right loan options. Even though they're going to share them with you, you want to know some things for yourself. And for SBA products, you can just go to sba.gov. So we're going to wrap up. I'm looking to see if you have any questions, comments, any takeaways, can you please leave it in the chat? Thank you for attending. We're going to be on for about 8 more minutes. So please ask questions. We're still here. Also, if you can put any takeaways from today on your social media channels and tag us, we appreciate that. We would like to thank everyone for coming out. We appreciate your engagement, your attendance, and your input. If you have any comments, please leave your comments, and I'll try to read off some. And if you have questions, you can either leave your question in the comment section here and we can comment, or you can inbox myself or Michelle, Iman, your questions, any of the panelists, and we'll be happy to help. Also, we would love for you to come back next week at this same time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. We'll be back here sharing more information with other guests, special guests, and the panelists that come every week. Bring your GovCon questions, financial management, small business questions. You can go and read up on the equity initiative and bring those questions as well. That's the whole focus and purpose of this session. Also, when you come back, please invite your colleagues, your fellow business owners, anyone you can. We'd love for you to invite others. And then also let us know if you all prefer LinkedIn audio or Facebook LinkedIn Live. The links are in the comments, but I'll also put the links on my page and under the event invite on Michelle's page. In short, you can go to sba.gov and find all of this information, uh, lending options, grant options that the SBA has, and also government contracting preference programs. They have all that information at sba.gov. Again, if you have any takeaways, if you learned anything, you can share it in the we love if you would share it in the comments or on your social media channels. Thank you for everyone who engaged in the comments and asked questions and just left messages. And also connect with everyone that's attending. Make sure you connect with at least 1, 2, 3 people and all the panelists. Again, if you have any questions related to what was discussed today, feel free to reach out to me directly or Iman at CDC Small Business Finance. Thank you for attending. And if any of the panelists would like to come forward, Coach, I don't know if you have a few words, and I don't know if Lori and Miss Linda, I'm not sure if you all can comment here, we want to make sure that we recognize Lori Smith and Linda Gray because they are also our panelists. If you all can comment and just leave a short intro so that everyone, the attendees, can see who you are. Thank you, Michelle, for hosting this platform. We appreciate you and we look forward to you hosting again, but I'm happy to do this, host and bring guests and answer any questions, and I'll be back next week. But we always want to make sure that we thank Michelle because without Michelle hosting this platform, it would not be, and it's been very impactful. We've actually had companies that had success in the GovCon space with contracts, so it's definitely making an impact. If does anyone have any last words? Michelle, would you have anything? Coach Iman?
I just want to say thank you guys again for having me. And seriously, Michelle, thank you so much for everything that you're doing, and all of you guys. And please let me know however I can help in any type of way, and I'll be on your calls listening in and getting as much information as I can soak up for my customers, and making an introduction still. So thank you guys, seriously.
Oh no, we're happy to have you, and when you expand into your other territories, we would love to have you come back. And then maybe once, since we're live now, maybe you and I could just go through, like in the future, a mock loan application process, just so that it's less intimidating.
That would be awesome. That would be absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we want to thank you for taking the time to come and share this information with us. I know your day is over. But as we know, in this access to capital world is always going.
Exactly, for sure.
Thank you, everyone, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Please connect and take care. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to any of the panelists. We're always happy to help, and we look forward to seeing you next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you. You're welcome to everyone in the comments. I'm happy to do this. And and we will do a mock application soon. Iman and I will walk through the process just so that you'll know what's required step by step. Thank you as well, Miss Linda. All right, I'm going to log off, and we look forward to seeing you again next week.